Welcome back to Super Sentai Review Episode 200! Yes, effectively becoming my fourth review series to reach 200 episodes. Wow! Who would have thunk this series be the one to do it? Some people probably would have thought, what's it, probably Case Closed, which that was getting pretty close, or Black Clover. My hero is halfway there, but this was the fourth one to do it. The first series reached 200 episodes with my Comic Corn. I believe I reached that about 2015, I think it was. Or at least around that time anyways. Actually about 2014 because I do like a lot of videos for that one. So I think I reached it, actually it was like about a year or two into my basic review series was doing that one. I know that I think the second one was officially Barto and the third one was One Piece. And for the longest time, there was no other series. And I brought this series back just a couple years ago. And I reviewed a lot of Super Sentai since then. Because before, when I started reviewing the series actually, believe it or not, 7 years ago, mind you, yes. I believe that I was initially, when I reviewed this series, originally, these Sentai, I wasn't doing like what I was doing now, where it's like, whatever episode I watched, that's what I reviewed. But in the case of these ones, well, With the originally, I reviewed the whole thing, all like 50 episodes. I discussed the whole thing, and I might miss some stuff per se, but I did enjoy watching those series. I mean, the first one I watched was Changeman, which was the thing I used for Lost Galaxy. Mostly, I had started off. Now I'm basically kind of look back because it's been 200 episodes, mind you. Yes, 200 episodes, where I basically was just initially reviewing stuff that's been adapted for Power Rangers because that was footage I was familiar with. Like, I did the third show, the second show, which was, of course, Mega Ranger. So fun to review that one. Of course, there's all shows like Time Ranger, Gal Ranger, Zoo Ranger, Die Ranger, O Ranger, Car Ranger, Go-Go 5. You might be thinking, what Power Rangers were they adapted for? Well, Zoo Ranger and Die Ranger are adapted for Mighty Morphin Ranger Seasons 1 and 2, O Ranger, Zeo, Car Ranger, Turbo, well, Mega Ranger obviously was adapted for In Space, Game, like I said, Lost Galaxy, Go-Go 5, that was adapted for Lightsea Rescue, Time Ranger was adapted for my personal favorite Power Ranger series, Time Force, Gal Ranger was adapted for Wild Force, another of my personal favorites. And I also reviewed Ghost Sager, which is adapted for Megaforce. Not very good, mind you. And, of course, the series that celebrated the 30th anniversary and got me a little bit peek into basically what I'm reviewing now, something from the 80s, basically with Changeman. And I mostly have gotten a little bit, like, back and forth. Like, because I originally was not interested in doing the ones adapted for Power Rangers. And then, basically, Go Kaiju got me basically into that one. And I had basically all the other Sentai series basically on a list to review, at least to watch. And I figured, though, why not discuss these ones? And plus, I love the time period, the 80s, though I would start with the 1970s. Now, when I put the series back in 2020 originally, I was like briefly, for like 10 episodes, it was basically bringing back Jock. When I brought it back, I initially reviewed the first 10 episodes of that one. And then I went on a year-long break. Excuse me. And then when I brought it back, I basically did stuff like Battle Fever J, Denzi Man, Sun Vulcan. I, of course, also since reviewed Shurikenger. That one was actually one about six, basically, I had initially started watching, and then I stopped. Along with Go Ranger, that's another one. Go Ranger. Yeah, these four, these three I just named, I had actually started watching these once, and then I stopped after a few episodes. Not because I got bored, because I was just got distracted, something else, and I went back to it. And as of currently, there's only about 2 more series left that I did start watching, but I never finished, and that was Cocker Ranger and Hurricaneer. I will eventually get to those, don't worry about that, but right now, basically, I'm discussing, well, I've also since gone through most of the 1980s stuff. And I've almost... Now, with Changeman, this officially is the last the Showa era. Because in the case of Go Ranger, I initially was thinking of doing that at some point down the road when I originally was watching, because how long it is, like 84 episodes. It took me a long time to get through the damn series. But I enjoyed it for what it was. But now basically I'm reviewing the second longest of the Super Sentai series. Now, when I get to reviewing the final few episodes, I will talk about some behind the scenes stuff. And of course, like usual, I will discuss what's in the series I'll be discussing next. I did the same thing for Kamen Rider, and I'm doing the same thing for Metal Heroes. That will be coming back. As a matter of fact, as soon as I finish this one, I will be doing the second Metal Hero series ever. The one second part of the Spaceship Trilogy. That'll be the next series I work on as soon as I finish this one. And the only series I, so far anyways, was not really the biggest fan of it was Go-Go V. Well, Go-Go 5. Like, the best thing I like about that particular series was the bad guys' base operations. It was an awesome looking base. But the problem with the show was it was cheap. Really dirt cheap. Like, stuff was basically redressed from Sun Boken for no reason. Like, the cockpits, for example, of those particular Zords. They're just redressed of Sun Bokens. As a matter of fact, the Zord itself mostly is basically a repainted version of the Sun Vulcan Megazord. It's kind of the same thing with Changeman too, especially the same color scheme, mind you. I think it mostly borrows from with Denzi Man. Also, Go-Go V had the problem of basically just reusing old storylines from previous series for no reason, and also lots and lots of stock footage. My God, there was a lot of reused stock footage. Like the same fight sequence for 20 straight episodes. Dynaman kind of the same problem too, but not as bad as Go-Go V. It was so obvious with that one with stock footage. Though in the case of the previous one I had reviewed, which it was Dynaman, that one, it was kind of obvious, but not as obvious as Go-Go 5. I got basically so irritated seeing the same exact brawl happening every single freaking episode in the same exact location. I'm like, it's clearly a different location. Changeman does not have that problem because it's 19 minutes. And we don't have repeated stock footage for this one. Thank God for that. But in the case of these 3 episodes, yes, I'm only discussing 3 because that's how much I got done today. So, 31 is basically what happens with this one. Pure and simple. The Plant Master finds out about a doll that has a secret to his true identity. And he orders his monster to destroy the doll. And here's a rarity. The monster actually succeeds exactly what it's supposed to do. Destroy the doll. Now, of course, his men are curious exactly what his true identity is, but of course never found out. That's mostly there just for the finale. That's mostly what it's there for. But yeah, an actual rare time where the monster actually succeeds what it's supposed to do. Like, okay. Despite the fact the monster's destroyed by the end of the episode, but damn. Now, in the case 32, 33, these actually is 2 of a 5-parter. You're probably thinking, Nick, why didn't you review the rest of it? Well, because that's far I got done with it. Now, we see the return of Nana. First time since episode, I believe, was 12. Yes. That was the last time she appeared. Yeah, seriously. Yeah. Actually, it was 13. That was her first appearance. She's there for 13, 14. And then she disappears for 18 episodes. And she comes back here for this arc per se. Yeah, she's here for just the 2 episodes I'm discussing here. Where it's all about the regular power that she apparently emits. And apparently reveal exactly what she's been up to since her last appearance. She apparently is taken in by a family in Japan. Who have adopted her into the family. And enjoyed it for a while, and somehow, I guess that the writers must feel this, hey, we have a loose plot of this girl, let's basically bring her in. Now, we bring in something, now the one thing they do mention here is what happened last time. Good continuity to this one. They do mention about the monster grower creature that Gadro, I think the name of the creature is, where she was manipulated to basically increase the thing's power, which they do bring it up here. Now, they keep the fact she's a genius and the fact she works on her adoptive brother's homework. Okay. So, they find out about this mysterious power she has, and of course, the first part ends basically with her starting to unravel with just her finger. Yes, her finger. And, well, basically, she doesn't want to do it because, well, the main reason why is because she's afraid of what exactly. Because it's revealed she only stays as a child for a short period of time before they immediately jumpstart to be an adult. That's apparently how the species works. Okay? And apparently whoever bathes in the light of the regale stuff becomes immensely powerful, and the commander is basically sent to retrieve it. He doesn't actually fail, and plus he got great camera work in this first 2 episodes. Case in point, the monster, the queen. I must draw right. So we actually it looks like a camera. It looks like a camera crane mostly, but the creature she's right on, we see from the top of it, which I thought was a really good camera perspective. And we see like the bad guys on it. It looks like it's about 10 feet off the ground mostly. But it's a very good camera view. I love the camera work in these 2 episodes. I'd say by far, the camera work in the series has been really good so far. I've thoroughly enjoyed the camera work. I love the sets for the series so far. And the only thing I kind of felt this though was a bit reused. The only thing I felt was reused from previous series was the fact that the Megazord was basically exterior-wise, when it's a robot mode, is a redressing of the bio-robot. Actually, the cockpit of the one that the Red Ranger drives. It's basically the cockpit is a redressing of the cockpit from Bio-Robo. And what else? Oh yeah, the fact the suits are basically just the same exact suits as the Bioman suits, except that there's less circuitry with it than it was in that one. Yeah, same exact design, except they made very little change with it. Yep. The only change with it is that they basically are the circuitry that was on the vest, but it's the same design. I'm not really sure. I think they used this also for Flashman, if I'm not mistaken, which that was the very next series that this one was Flashman. Mm-hmm. Just the helmets per se, but the suits are definitely different. But if you definitely look at the suits that the Changeman wears, and Bioman is virtually almost the same exact suits. Yeah, except the only changes they made was they removed, like I said, they moved the circuitry was on the vest, made it all white, made a little symbol on the chest, and the helmets are a little different, but mostly it's just the same exact freaking suits. Mostly, anyways. They basically there's more color in it, and the white suit just basically the same exact suit as the black. And of course, well, it keeps with the tradition of having a yellow, basically 2 women on the team. And of course, this would last for quite some time. I think it started officially with was it Dynaman? No. It was actually started with Bioman, where we basically had like 3 or 4 teams in a row. We have 2 women on the team. We had Bioman, this one, Flashman, Massman had 2 women on the team. But thinking the Live Man did. No, Live Man only had 1. Yep. But it is interesting though, 4 in a row this one was basically where we had 2 women on the team. Something that Sentai doesn't really explore that very much at all. Yep. But in the case of this one, well, we kind of see at the end of part 2, where after Amos gets her low regale form, the commander, after his second defeat, after basically given one last chance by the Plant Master, after he's defeated, he failed his mission, so he proceeds to fight them on his own without the power, and he's sort of defeated but not killed. So the Plant Master proceeds to take him, basically force him into space and dump him to a galactic graveyard, implying that he kills him. But he comes back 5 episodes later. I'll get to more of that in another review. Yeah, but these are 3 really good episodes. Great advance with the story. Definitely looking forward to discussing the rest of this particular arc, which only has about 3 more episodes left to go, which wraps up at episode 36. Yes. And have a standalone episode and the return of the commander. Yep. We're getting interesting parts here because basically we're laying the groundwork for the end of Changeman. Yes. Oh, and as of right now, getting to episode 33, I have exactly 22 episodes left to go for the entire series. Now, if this one's in the other previous series, like if it was 50 episodes, I would have roughly 17 episodes left. Yeah, 17. But because this one's 55, it's roughly 22. Yep. So yes, that's going to be pretty much it for this particular review. Next up is going to be my review, my comic corner. Yep. Next video.